Hey man, one of the worst positions a man can live in is not rejection. It is confusion. Rejection hurts once. Confusion hurts daily. Rejection closes the door. Confusion leaves it cracked open just enough for you to keep staring through it. And that is why it is so dangerous. Because when a woman does not truly choose you, but still wants your attention, your energy, your loyalty, your emotional investment, she often will not give you a clean no. She will give you heat, then cold, depth, then distance, a late night miss you, and then 2 dry replies the next day. She will watch every story, like one photo, ignore your invite, then reappear the second she feels you pulling your energy back. That is not romance. That is leverage. That is where men get destroyed, because instead of reading the confusion as the answer, they treat it like a puzzle. They start thinking, maybe she is scared, maybe she is complicated, maybe she has trust issues, maybe she is just overwhelmed, maybe I need to be more patient, more understanding, more consistent, more reassuring. No, stay with me here, because what I'm about to explain is what separates a man who gets drained for months from a man who sees the trap early and steps out of it with his self-respect intact. Confusion is not powerful because it is smart. It is powerful because it hijacks your mind. It makes you live in analysis mode. You stop being a man moving forward in life and start becoming a detective in your own relationship. You reread messages, you replay tone, you stare at seen receipts, you count how long she took to answer, you notice she was active online but did not respond. You build whole emotional theories off one soft text and one cold day. And while you are doing all of that, she is holding the center of gravity. That is the power. The power is not in what she says. It is in what your confusion makes you do. You hesitate, you chase, you over-explain, you become more available. You lower standards you would normally never lower. Why? Because uncertainty makes a man desperate for clarity, and the more desperate you are for clarity, the more power the person withholding it has over you. That is the game. Now, what I'm about to tell you next is the part most men do not want to hear. The reason confusion works so well is because many men would rather live in a painful maybe than face a clean no. A clean no bruises the ego, it forces acceptance, it kills fantasy, but confusion keeps hope alive, and hope, when it is attached to mixed signals, becomes a drug. That is why a man tolerates things he would normally call disrespect. She is warm in person, but cold in text. She says she feels safe with you, but disappears for days. She tells you she is not ready for anything serious, but still wants boyfriend-level attention. She says, "I miss your vibe," at 12:18 a.m., then acts like you are too much by noon. She wants you emotionally close, but never clear. She wants access without accountability, and because every now and then she gives you a flash of sweetness, you stay. That is intermittent reward, and intermittent reward is addictive because your mind starts chasing the high. You stop asking, is this healthy, and start asking, how do I get the warm version of her back? That question alone tells you the dynamic is rotten. Because a man in a healthy connection is not trying to earn consistency from someone who keeps withdrawing it. Now stay with me, because here is the line most men need to burn into their minds. Genuine interest simplifies your mind. Games overload it. A woman who truly wants to build with you does not make your nervous system feel like it is dodging traffic. She is not perfect. She may be emotional. She may be layered. She may have fears. But there is a baseline of clarity. Her actions do not constantly make you feel like you need a translator. You know where you stand. Not because she gives speeches, because her effort is coherent. Her warmth is not random. Her interest does not disappear every time you get attached. Her silence is not used like a leash. That matters, because a lot of men have been taught to romanticize confusion. They call it chemistry. They call it tension. They call it mystery. They say things like, I just can't figure her out, as if that means depth. No. A lot of the time it means low intent, poor character, attention addiction, or a woman who likes being chased more than she likes being honest. That is the truth. And before you say, maybe she is just unsure, let me sharpen that for you. Genuine uncertainty still carries integrity. A genuinely uncertain woman may be slow, but she is not usually chaotic. She may ask for patience, but she does not keep poisoning your peace. She does not demand access to your heart while refusing to give you basic clarity in return. She does not punish you with distance, then reward you with warmth only when she feels your energy leaving. That is not uncertainty. That is a power pattern. Now, what I'm about to tell you next is where the masculine failure happens. Men think the answer to confusion is effort. They think if they just show more maturity, more reassurance, more patience, more emotional intelligence, the fog will clear. But confusion is not always a problem she wants solved. Sometimes confusion is the environment she prefers because it keeps you in pursuit mode. That is why your extra effort usually makes it worse. You call more. She pulls back. You explain more. She gets drier. You ask what is wrong. She says nothing. You give reassurance. She gives half energy. You step up. She steps sideways. And because you are emotionally invested, you misread that as she needs more time. No, a lot of times she just needs you to keep orbiting while she keeps deciding. Now stay with me, because this is where the real correction begins. Confusion is not something you decode. It is something you judge. Big difference. Weak position. What does this mean? Strong position. Do I accept this pattern? Weak position. How do I get certainty from her? Strong position. Why am I giving time to someone who profits from my uncertainty? Weak position. Maybe I should be more understanding. Strong position. My understanding does not require me to abandon my standards. That is the pivot. The trap is not that she is hard to understand. The trap is that you keep treating her confusion like hidden depth instead of obvious disrespect. That line changes men. Because once you see that, you stop romanticizing emotional chaos. You stop treating mixed signals like a sign that the connection is intense. D. You stop rewarding contradiction with more access to you. Now, I need to say something else that matters. Not every woman who confuses a man is sitting there like a cartoon villain planning moves on a whiteboard. Some of them are just immature. Some want validation. Some do not know themselves. Some like attention more than truth. Some hate direct endings. Some want the comfort of your presence without the responsibility of choosing you. Some want to keep you warm while they test other options. The result is the same, and that is what men must learn. You do not need to know whether it is fully conscious to protect yourself from it. You do not need to psychoanalyze her childhood to admit the pattern is poisoning your peace. You do not need to understand every wound she carries in order to say, "This dynamic is not for me." That is self-respect. Now, what I'm about to tell you next is where most men get their power back. Your real problem is not her confusion. Your real problem is the part of you that still thinks chaos means value. The part of you that still gets hooked by inconsistency. The part of you that thinks the woman who is hardest to lock down must be the one worth proving yourself to. That part of you must die. Because as long as it is alive, you will keep choosing women who flood you with uncertainty and calling the emotional roller coaster special. It is not special, it is expensive. Expensive to your focus, expensive to your self-worth, expensive to your peace, expensive to your standards. You start compromising in tiny ways first. You tell yourself she is different. You tell yourself she just needs time. You tell yourself not to be too rigid. You tell yourself modern dating is just messy. Then one day you look up and realize you are accepting treatment that would have disgusted the earlier version of you. That is how confusion corrodes a man, slowly. Now stay with me, because this next part matters more than all the rest. A lot of men try to solve this by copying the game back. They go cold on purpose, delay replies, post strategically, pretend not to care, throw out their own mixed signals. That is not power, that is reaction in costume. You are still revolving around her behavior. You are still letting her dictate your state. You are just trying to win inside the same broken arena. That is not masculine strength. Masculine strength is simpler. You stop playing. You do not perform distance. You create real distance. You do not fake being unbothered. You become harder to bother because your life is rooted elsewhere. You do not try to confuse her back. You become so clear within yourself that confusion cannot rent space in your head anymore. That is the real shift. And she feels it. because a woman can sense when a man is silent but still mentally crawling after her. She can feel when you are pretending to detach while secretly waiting for her next move. Women are sharp with energy. You can say all the right stoic lines, but if your mind is still chained to her replies, she knows. So the answer is not behavior first, it is inner structure. You need a life that is not emotionally built around female certainty. You need a mission, a routine, standards, a body you take care of, work that demands your presence, brothers who sharpen you. Quiet time with your own thoughts, real self-command, because once a man is built like that, confusion stops feeling magnetic and starts feeling exhausting. That is when the spell breaks. He sees the late night text and does not build a fantasy. He sees the random affection and does not over-promote her in his mind. He sees the hot and cold pattern and does not interpret it as chemistry. He simply reads the pattern and adjusts access. That is a powerful man. Now, here is the irony. The second your mind stops chasing clarity from her, the whole dynamic changes. Because confusion only works when it gets fed. If her silence no longer makes you panic, it weakens. If her warmth no longer makes you overinvest, it weakens. If her contradictions no longer get rewarded with your attention, the dynamic starts collapsing. Then one of two things happens. Either she feels your center and starts dropping the games because she knows they no longer work, or she leaves to find another man who will dance in the fog. Both are wins. Read that again. Both are wins. Because if she becomes honest, you finally get something real. And if she leaves, you just got rescued from a long, expensive, emotional trap. Now, what I'm about to say is the deepest truth in this whole conversation. Confusion is a mirror. It shows a man where he is still weak. If one woman's inconsistency can derail your whole day, there is work to do. If her delayed reply can make you lose focus, there is work to do. If her half effort still feels better than your own peace, there is work to do. That is not shame, that is clarity. Because once you see that, you stop blaming her for every bruise and start strengthening the part of you that kept handing her the knife. That is where men grow up, not by hating women, not by becoming cold, not by turning bitter, by seeing chaos clearly and refusing to romance it. That is it. You stop calling mixed signals depth. You stop calling emotional instability passion. You stop calling manipulation complexity. You stop calling your addiction to her warmth love. And once you stop doing that, you become very hard to control. So hear me clearly, brother. If she truly wants you, your mind will not constantly feel under attack. If she truly values you, her actions will not keep training you to live in doubt. If she truly respects you, she will not keep your heart in a fog just to feel powerful. And if she does, that is your answer. Not your invitation to chase harder, not your sign to over-explain, not your signal to prove yourself more. Your answer. Walk back into yourself. Pull your energy out of the maze. Stop asking chaos to turn itself into peace. Stop needing clarity from someone who benefits from your confusion, because the man who no longer bows to mixed signals becomes the man nobody can psychologically drag around. That is the win. Not getting her, not beating her at her own game, not making her obsessed. The win is this: your peace stays yours. Your standards stay intact. Your mind stays clear. And no woman ever again gets to feel powerful just because she made you doubt what you were seeing. That, my brother, is what it means to rise above the confusion.